Chaos, the series. Chapter 11. My Dead Brother. Sarah tries to find Aaron by following the trail of destruction. She climbs a building to look for him from higher ground. As she reaches the top, she sees Aaron and is shocked by this transformation. She then heads towards him. But as she draws closer, the force from the fight proves to be too strong. She staggers to push forward and tries to call out to him. The stranger asks Aaron how it must feel to be lower than garbage knowing he has the power to be a god. Aaron replies with, he wants to be human and live as a human, and if killing all who stand in the way, he'd do it, and forces him to the ground. The stranger tells him that he can't escape being defected, and that if he doesn't learn his place, he'd teach him. Sarah watches in fear of this strange transformation and believed Ian when he said that Aaron could be dangerous out of nowhere. The stranger grabs Sarah and tries to force Aaron to surrender. Aaron stays silent as Sarah continues to try and reach him, but the stranger tells her that he's what the world needs a cure for humanity, which he exclaims is death. Aaron slowly lands on the ground with hatred in eyes. Sarah calls out to him once more and reaches him. He then begins to scream in agony, trying to revert to his original self. Sarah frees herself, telling the stranger not to cross her, and attacks him, but he forces her back. The stranger tells her she's been too weak and doesn't have the will to fight. She corrects him, saying that her will to live is stronger. Then he knows she holds her arms out wide and starts absorbing the air around her as she does. She tells the stranger that she'll never lose another family member to people like him, and generates a large amount wind into her hands and shapes them like blades. With a smile on her face and tears in her eyes, she tells him go fuck himself, and unleashes a barrage of sharp gust which damages the stranger, flinging him into the air. Sarah rides the wind to finish him with one blast. She succeeds, and the stranger barrows down to ground. With smoke covering the street and debris scattered, Sarah runs to get Aaron and sees him still struggling to change back. Sarah fears for him and realizes what might snap him back to normal, then slaps him across the face, telling him the last thing she needs is for him to go on a rampage. He changes back with no memory of what had happened. With what little memory he has, he tells Sarah that the stranger is someone they know. Before he can tell her, the stranger breaks out the ground, but a strange device falls off his chest. Sarah and Aaron are shocked to see who the stranger has been this whole time. The stranger was Marshall, whom they both witnessed, the murdered more 3 months ago. Marshall stands up straight, cracking his limbs, saying Sarah did a good job trying to kill him. She tearfully tries to talk, but seeing her brother caused her to stay silent. Marshall's body had stitches all round his body with tattoos on his arms, and face Sarah stares at the large scar in the center of his chest from when he protected Aaron. Aaron struggles to stand, but asks him how is alive after that dark night. Marshall laughs psychotically, saying he never died but was reborn into a god, and he questioned why they never buried him or even thought to move his body. He then sheds a tear, asking if they missed him so much, why didn't they think to look for him? Aaron walks towards him, saying that life has hell without him, and they have lost ever since his death. He tries to hug him, but Marshall throws him down. Staring at him with an angry glare, he tells him he still loves them and that he had a choice in the memories they would give him, and he chose to keep the ones they shared. In the distance, the DED draws close. He tells them both that they need to leave and that this is the only time he'll spare their lives, and if they come after him or the DED, he won't hesitate a second time. Ian and Hope come running, telling them they need to go right now. So the four flee with Aaron, looking at the person who he says used to be his brother. He wipes his face and doesn't look back. 6 months had passed, and Aaron has never forgotten that. Look on Marshall's face when said he still loved him and Sarah. Aaron wakes up with Hope at his side. She says she came in to check on him and that he was having nightmare, so she decided to Sadie at his side. Grateful, Aaron gets up. Hope tells him that she'll be outside waiting with the others. He walks outside and sees Ian, Hope, and Sarah waiting for him. Sarah tells him her and Ian are going to do some recon, and that he should talk to Hope, because there are things they needed to talk about. But first, Ian explains what's going to happen. Now that things have slowed down, He expresses his sympathy towards the fact Aaron found out Marshall was alive the way he did. But that didn't matter anymore if was with the DED. He was a threat not only to him, but himself, Sarah, and even Hope, and that, if he is capable of doing what he did then, he needs to be killed, or at least convinced that what he's doing is wrong. Aaron joking says that if their mom and dad were the opposite, we wouldn't be here now. The two share a good laugh, and Ian points out that Hope has been at his side since this all started, and asked what's he think of her. Aaron tells him that he has feelings for her, but with everything that's happened, he thinks now isn't a good time for romance. Ian reassures him that better now than later, and tells him a girl as hot and with big boobs doesn't just fall for a dork like him. Embarrassed, yet amused by his brother's words, Aaron and Hope decide to go out before tomorrow's big day. Hope and Aaron walk around talking and reminiscing of their lives before and after they got their powers. Hope asks Aaron what he intends to do after the DED are gone, because there are more all over the country, and asks what if he gets killed, and holds him tight. Aaron comforts her and tells her, even if they succeed, he thinks that destroying them for good is the right way to go, and that he wants her by his side. It starts to rain. The two run into an abandoned building to dry. Laughing, Aaron tells Hope Ian must have knew it was going to rain and that he owes them a dry cleaning bill. Hope tells him that's the last thing he'll have to worry about when she gets a hand on him. Hope begins to remember what Sarah told her, and she realizes she couldn't live with herself if she didn't tell the truth before she can speak. Aaron asks if she wants him to dry her clothes. She says yes, and asks him what he thinks of her, embarrassed by the question. He starts stammering, but answers honestly. He tells her that even though he couldn't remember their past together, he feels happy that he has her in his life now, and that he can tell that she's been through a lot in her life and that he loves her deeply. Blushing, she tells him she loves him too, and tells him her true secret. After hearing the truth, Aaron becomes angry, but calms down, and walks to Hope. Frightened, she steps back. Aaron reaches out to her and hugs her tightly as she cries. He tells her he'll make the DED suffer, and the two share a passionate kiss as the lights go out.